Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you all are doing good. Yes, let's continue with our Six Sigma Green Belt certification. And previous couple of videos, we have just gone through diagnosis. We have gone through operational level diagnosis, and we also have gone through FMEA, which help us to prioritize the problems. That's what we discussed in first couple of videos in defined phase. Now we're going to go through the project charter and process mapping. So let's go ahead and try and understand what exactly we do have in a process mapping. And of course, prior to that, project charter. Let's go to next slide. Right. So we had diagnosed what is the problem. Now, very next thing is we have to come up with a document that will showcase the quantification of the problem. We already have quantified the problem. How much is the problem? We already have quantified it while diagnosing it, and that is why we prioritize, Six Sigma projects based on that. So we need to have a document that can quantify the problem and also help us set the improvement goal for the given Six Sigma project. And that's where project charter will come into the picture. And once we are done with the project charter, very next thing is we have to showcase where the real problem is lying in a process. So when you're saying define phase A, define what is the problem, and second aspect of the define phase is defining where the given problem lies in the process. So that's where high level process map will help us. That is why we would need a high level process map. So let's go ahead and try and understand different attributes or elements of project charters, and of course, try and understand high level process mapping. Right. So step number 2, establish the project charter, documenting problem in a structured form to showcase it to senior management for approvals. So when you as a green belt is going to finish your first step of finalizing on problem areas, one need to document the given problems in a structured manner so that you need to just showcase it to the senior management, where senior management will just go through those documents and approve it. By the end of the day, when you want to deploy problem solving projects, you have to take an approval from the senior management. So to take an approval of the senior management, we have to showcase a given problem or list of problems in a very brief manner so that they can just go through it quickly and understand what actually is lying in this particular project, what is happening, why we want to deploy this project, who are the individuals associated in this project, what's the timeline of the project, and by the end of the day, what's the benefit we're expecting out of this project. So all these things will be part of your project chart. Let's go ahead and understand it in details. So the project charter. Project charter is a document that describes the basis for the Six Sigma project, a problem statements, goals, team members associated with the project, and timeline. So project charter answers the question, who is the customer? What is the issue customer is facing? How much is the pain does this given issue cause? When will issue be fixed? And who is going to be involved in fixing those issues? So in other words, project charter is nothing but a blueprint of the project, which will be a guiding kind of a document for rest of the Six Sigma project deployment. So on that note, let's go ahead to the next slide. Right, so let's understand the elements of project charter. So project charter to have 7 primary elements. First element is business case. Second element is problem statement. Third element is goal statement. Fourth is scope. By the way, when I'm saying problem statement, it's a quantification of the problem, and goal statement is quantification of the goal, right? That's what we are documenting in a project charter. Fourth is scope. Fifth is project team involved in this particular project. Sixth is project timeline or milestones. As we said, it's a projectized version. Six Sigma is a problem solving methodology. However, it is in a projectized form. So every single project you have a start time and end time. So that's a sixth aspect or attribute. And seventh one is estimated benefit. So by the end of the day, when you're deploying a problem solving project, how much benefit are you expecting out of this particular project should be part of that project charter. So you can imagine a project charter, as name goes, is a one-page document where you can have every single aspect of the project charter, every single aspect of the project involved in this particular document. So that's a project charter. Right. So let's go to the next slide. Right. So this is an example of project charter. As we have told you that, while detailing the conceptual understandings of the given concept of Six Sigma, simultaneously, we are also going to take one example or one case study. It's kind of a live case study to be, I mean, it's a real life case study, but we have converted it into, a typical case study. This is a real life scenario, but we converted into a typical case study. So as and when we complete a given, or as and when we just go through different steps of Six Sigma deployment, simultaneously we'll also go through the case as well, so that you'll have better understanding, better visualization of that particular step. And that is why we're doing it. This is really a very valuable aspect, and this is how will help you to understand the concept of Six Sigma, for that matter, lean transformation easily. So this is the example of project charter. This is how our project charter normally looks. So it do have on the left hand side, it will start with the business case. Below business case, you'll have problem statement. Then you have a goal statement. Then project scope, in scope and out scope. Then on the right hand side, at the top, you have team members, a table of team members, and the team members involved into this. Then you have a project timeline. So when a given phase is going to start and going to end. This is like an estimated timeline. And finally, we're also going to showcase estimated project benefits. So by the end of the day, after deploying this project, how much is the benefit expected? Imagine this one pager, when if you are a senior management professional, when you have this one pager, in minute or two, you'll be able to understand the problem and the stuff associated with the problem or attributes associated with the problem. So this gives the clarity of the problem to you so that you can approve whether to deploy this project or not. And that's the benefit, that's the power of project charter. Project charter is a document that gives ultra clarity of given problem. So that's a project charter. Of course, we're going to go through each and every element of the project charter in detail, but this is how a project charter will look. Let's go to the next slide. Right. The very first element of the project charter is a business case. Now, what is business case? The business case is a brief description of why it matters that we should solve this problem. Why are we solving this particular problem? So this is what a business case defines. This is what business case describes. So it identifies the strategic objective and specific benefits that will be gained if this problem is addressed. It estimates the financial opportunity if this problem is solved. So this is the example. You can see the example of business case, how it looks. The brief in a couple of 2 or 3 sentences. You can just brief, and in that briefing, you should have a couple of aspects. One, of course, the reasons why you want to deploy this project and what would be possible financial benefit out of this particular project. So that shows the importance. Business case is all about showing the importance of the problem. That is why we say why it matters is the question business case answers. So example, improving on-time delivery of a client orders will enable ABC Private Limited to gain additional revenue each quarter which is estimated at USD 2 million, a financial benefit, right? If you can see the financial benefits. Improving on-time delivery also contributes to improving overall customer satisfaction rating, the benefit of enhancing customer satisfaction rating. So this is the business case. So to sum up, business case describes the compelling business reasons why these problems need to be addressed. And secondly, it identify estimated financial benefit. Again, it's an estimated rough estimate of financial benefit that would be gained if this problem is addressed. So this is rough, or for that matter, this is just a brief of the business case, how the business case should look and what are different sub-elements of the business case. Let's go to the example of business case on the next slide. Right. So project charter, you could see the template of the project charter on the left hand side at the topmost area or topmost corner, you can have the business case. And business case, we already talked about business case. Improving on-time delivery of the client orders will enable ABC Auto Components Private Limited to improve overall customer retention and thus gain additional revenue each quarter, estimated at USD 2 million. So this showcase why should we deploy the given project, importance of the solving the given problem. That's about the project charter. Let's move to the next slide to understand next element, that is problem statement. Second element of project charter is problem statement. Now, before we just proceed with the problem statement, let's understand the difference between the first element and the second element. So what is different between business case and problem statement? So business case is kind of elaboration. Again, it's a brief elaboration of the given situation or scenario. That's what business case did. Problem statement goes one step ahead and try and quantify or try and convey why that particular given situation occurs. In other words, it try to quantify the problem because of which a given situation occurs, and we got to improve the given situation. So problem statement is all about quantification of the problem. Right? So that is why it is critical to define the problem. That's a very important thing. So let's take an example of process time non-compliance reduction. So what we did, in our operational level diagnostics. First of all, we asked, okay, what are different metrics you are maintaining, right? That's the one thing. Second thing, we ask, okay, what are the targets of the given metric? So if take an example, process time is one of the metric you are maintaining. Next question we ask, what are the targets? What is the target line for this given metric? And then for last 2 or 3 months, for that matter, last 3 months, we try to figure out how many times or how many incidences, this target timeline has not met. We're trying to figure it out. So not meeting given timeline, given target line for X number of incidences become the quantification of the problem. So that helps us understand, okay, if this is the situation, this is what we got to know from the business case. What is the reason why this particular situation is occurring? This is occurring because of the problems, this given problem, and that given problem we quantify in a problem statement. So that is the difference between problem statement and that of your business case. So the problem statement should include as is state of the process. It should be as specific and measurable as possible, given the current state of knowledge about the process. So as is state, we said that non-compliance over last 3 months of time. So over last 3 months, how many occasions we were not meeting the target line? So we had total number of, say, occasions, say 234 occasions, and out of which 87 number of shifts, for that matter, out of 234 shifts, we were not meeting the target line set for process time. So 87 by 234, roughly 37.18% of the total time or total number of shifts in last 3 months, we were not meeting the target. And that is the quantification of the problem which lead to the non-acceptable situation which we briefed in a business case. So this is the problem statement. So let's take an example of problem statement. You could see it over here. In case of process time non-compliance reduction, out of last 3 months or 234 shifts in last 3 months, 87 shifts consume average processing time more than allowed time limit of 270 seconds per part, which is almost 37.18%, means 37.18% of time we were not meeting the target. This is the quantification of the problem, the elaboration of the problem in mathematical terms, in numbers, that really help us understand the problem. And that's what problem statement do. So every single problem statement should be in the form of quantification of the given situation. We're not supposed to talk, subjectively. We're supposed to talk quantitatively in problem statement. So that's about a problem statement. It describes the problem as it is today and the extent or condition when it occurs. So what may probably go wrong, it also speaks about that. Importantly, problem statement should not talk about the causes. It only need to talk about a problem, not about causes and not about probable solutions. It only need to talk about problem, and that to be in a specific and quantifiable terms. That is problem statement. Let's go to the next slide and see how the problem statement will look in a project charter. Next slide. Right. So problem statement. So we had a business case in a project charter, and now the second thing or second element is the problem statement. So out of last 3 months or 234 shifts, 87 shift consumes average processing time more than allowed target line of 270 seconds, which is almost 37.18%. 37.18% of time we are not meeting the target line. So this PT compliance results into delay in delivery of client orders or assignments, leading to client dissatisfaction. So situation is client dissatisfaction. So we are saying that given problem which we quantified is leading to the situation, that is the business case, dissatisfaction of the customers which need to be improved. So that's about the problem statement. Let's go to the next slide. So third element of the project charter is goal statement. So we started with the first element, which is business case. A second one, problem statement. Now the third element, goal statement. So the goal statement should include the desired state of the process. So see, business case spoke about current scenario or situation. Problem statement quantify the given problem which lead to that situation, but the current state of the given problem. And goal statement is talking about desired future state of the process. That's the difference between goal statement and problem statement. So goal statement should be as specific and as measurable as possible. That's the clarity, right? So as we say that project charter provides the ultra clarity of the problem. So that's what the characteristics of the project charter, and these elements of the project charters are proving that characteristics. So it got to be as clear as possible. And that is why goal statement is supposed to be specific and measurable. Let's take an example of goal statement here. To reduce processing time non-compliance from 87 shifts to 70 shifts by April 2022. That is roughly 20% reduction. So we already discussed, can we reduce from 87 shifts to 0 shifts? No, it's not possible that easily. right? So you got to take first goal. First goal is to reduce up till 70 shifts, and maybe in a future we reduce it from 70 shift to 50 shift, from 50 to 30 shifts, and likewise we'll keep on reducing. But currently for this given project, our desired state is from 87 shifts to 70 shifts by April 2022. So we have started the project, or we will start the project roughly in Jan 2022, and we are expected to finish it by April 2022. So roughly in a three and a half to 4 months, we can finish Six Sigma project. We shouldn't be taking more than the 3.5 to 4 months to deploy Six Sigma project. Even lesser is better, right? So that's about timeline. Um, Desired state. Now, desired state describes what is to be achieved by solving the problem. It should be as objective as possible. Objective means what are we really going to achieve? It should be clear. We should have we should provide, our goal statement should provide a clear message about what are we expecting out of this particular Six Sigma project. And finally, it should be as specific as possible, and it should include the measurement goal. I'm sure many of us have heard the goal should be smart enough. So what is SMART over here? S stand for specific, so goal should be specific. M stand for measurable, goal should be measurable. It should be attainable, relevant, and importantly, time bound. And that is where by April 2022 comes into the picture. No goal statement is complete goal statement without time limit. Every single goal statement should come up with a time limit. By when are you going to achieve this improvement? That is what is very important. That is what a goal statement provides. So two things, the desired state and the timeline. In which timeline are you going to achieve that desired state? You may say that I'll achieve improvement from 87 shifts to 70 shifts. I'll reduce PT non-compliance from 87 shifts to 70 shifts. You might take 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years. That's not going to help to the organization. So you got to come up with a timeline, and that timeline should be as stringent as possible, 3.5 to 4 months of time. So that's what a goal statement speaks about. Let's go to see example or how goal statement look in a project charter. So we have in the left side, in a project charter, we had business case at the left side, top corner. Then we had problem statement, and now goal statement to reduce PT non-compliance by 20%. That is from 87 shifts to roughly 70 shifts by April 2022. So that's about the goal statement. Let's go to the next slide. So it's a quiz time, right? So project charter is the document that describes the base of the Six Sigma project, problem statement, goals, team members, timeline, and estimated benefit in brief. The answer is true. It's true. Project charter is the document that comprises different elements that includes your business case, which is kind of a base of the Six Sigma project, problem statement, goal statement, team members who are part of the Six Sigma projects, then timeline and estimated benefits. That too in a brief. Let's go to next question. Following are the elements of the project charter. Option 1, business case, problem statement, goal statement. Option 2, problem statement, root causes, probable solutions. Option 3, business statement, problem statement, probable solutions. So what are the elements of the project charter, which we have just gone through? Answer is business case, problem statement, and goal statement. Let's go to next question. Business case is a brief description of why it matters that we solve this problem. So it briefly describes why should we solve this problem? The answer is business case. Describe why should we solve a given problem. Next question. Problem statement. Describe future state of the process and highlight causes and solutions. True or false? And the answer is false. Problem statement doesn't describe desired state, rather it talks about as its state, a current state, and it quantifies the problem. Secondly, it only talks about the quantification of the problem and it does not speak about causes or solutions. And that is why the statement, problem statement describe desired state of the process and highlight causes and solutions is a false statement. Let's go to the next question. Goal statement describe desired state of the process and it should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. True or false? And the answer is true. Goal statement describe desired state of the process, like a future state, expected future state, estimated future state. That's a desired state of the process. And it should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. We have to have a time bound situation or time boundness for a given goal statement. That's about goal statement. So I guess we are done with this video. We in fact started with the project charter. We are done with the half of the project. I mean, we have done with the half of the elements of the project charter. We will definitely go through the rest of the elements of the project charter in next video. But for time being, thank you so very much for your time. And I'm looking forward to meet you in the next video. I have a small request to you all. If you have not shared or liked or subscribed our videos, please do share, like all of our videos, and please do subscribe us. And secondly, please let your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, and all of those whom you know, please let them know about the Break-Affix program. I'm sure it will be valuable to them as well. Uttishta Bharata, Ma Bharati shall rise again in a full view. Before we end, let's thank our technology companies who supported us. We deeply appreciate following technology companies for their technological support. Thank you so very much for your time. Have a wonderful time ahead, and let's meet up again.